Hello, SQL Bits. Thank you very much for turning up to this session. It's 20 minutes, so I'm going to be very brief on the introductions. My name is Mark Aves. Been working with data a long time, 20 odd years or so or more. Co-leader of various different user groups, stuff like that. But today I want to chat to you about how to build a bot in Teams. All my contact details are up there on the screen. There's a feedback link. We love to get your feedback at the end of the sessions. Every bit of feedback, we plant a tree for SQL Bits. So please take a couple of minutes for all the speakers to fill out a bit of feedback. All right, great. That's it. That's all I'm going to do with the slides. There are no more slides in this session. What I do want to pop on to next is I want to pop on to my website. The reason why I'm going to my website is this is SQL Bits, and I'm going to build a bot. And there's an arcade theme. So I thought it'd be fun to build a quiz bot. Okay, it's going to be a bot that you ask questions, and that will ask you a question, a true or false question. You give your answer. It keeps track of you. So there's a little bit of data flow to this. There's a little bit of logic. So I got a little bit of a flow diagram up here, and basically the bits in the bits in blue are the bot, and the bits in orange is Power Automate. And the big thing about this actually is how bots built by Power Virtual Agents in Teams interact with Power Automate to give you a very kind of immersive experience towards automation. Okay, so I'm going to do things like ask the gamer name, check your previous results and stats, display that. Then I'm going to generate a question. I'm going to ask the question, I'm going to check the response, and I'm going to game over. If you're wrong or if you're right, you're going to get an opportunity to go again, and you can build the stats. And for fun, at the end of the session, you can play this game if you want, because it's up on my website. All right, so that's the flow. Let's get into the bot. So when you're building a bot, I'm building my bot in Teams. Okay, so here's Teams, got my Teams client up and running. If you don't see it for the first time, you'll go to these three dots. You can go search for Power Virtual Agents, and it will bring you to this environment in here. And what I'm looking at here is Power Virtual Agents and chatbots. And I've got a few different chatbots in place in here. Now, if I was doing this right from scratch, I will go up here and click on New Chatbot, and it will take me here, and I'll have to put in a name for my chatbot, and then I'll have to wait about a minute for it to spin up. So I'm going to save myself about a minute of time in here and not actually do the initial creation of the chatbot. I'm just going to bring it back in here, and I'm going to click on this bot that I have down here, which is called SQL Bits Bot. Now, I've done nothing more with SQL Bits Bot other than set its logo. All right, so this is what you will see the first time when you go creating a bot inside in Teams. And bots depend upon topics, okay? So let's have a look at topics. And a topic is like a unit of conversation, okay? I want to automate something, so I got to ask a couple of questions, all right? That's all wrapped up into a topic. There's a few standard topics come with all bots. They've got some demo topics up here available as well. I'm going to create a new topic. So I'm going to create a new topic, and the first thing you're asked for is trigger phrases, okay? So what initiates? So I'm going to just go, well, I'm going to keep it nice and easy, and I'm going to put in quiz. But you can have multiple trigger phrases in there, and you want to kind of capture a certain element of a human natural input. Then I have, by default, the first thing the bot always does is a message. I'm going to delete that message, and I'm going to add something. And these are your basic building blocks of a bot. You can ask a question, or you can call an action. You can show a message, you can redirect, or you can end. The call and action is very powerful because this is the bit that allows you to tap into Power Automate. And you can see in here, I got some Power Automate features going. For now, I'm going to ask a question, all right? And I am going to ask the question, I'm going to go, well, welcome, and there's some built-in parameters in here, and I can display the display name because when you're in a Teams environment, it's aware of who you are. Now, this is bits, all right? So I'm going to ask the question, what is your gamer name? Okay, now I want to capture the user's entire response in there, and I'm popping that into a variable gamer name. Okay, first bit done. Now, after this, I'm going to call an action, okay? So I'm going to call an action, and I am cheating a bit in here. I'm not going to build these actions from scratch, okay? Because I wouldn't get it done in 20 minutes. I will try to show you one at the end, okay? So what I'm going to do in here is I'm going to call an action, and I'm going to call the check stats. So down here, I've got a SQL quiz check player stats. And this has got an input parameter, which is the user's gamer name, and it outputs these. Okay, it outputs these go, the message, current streak, best streak, etc. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to display the result from that action, which is inside in this message text, by simply going message. See how it's added on a new variable, because now I've introduced new variables into the flow. Okay, now the next thing is I want to ask him a question. So I'm going to call another action. I'm going to call another action, and here the action I'm calling is SQL Bits Quiz. And that's the one I'll try to show you at the end, all right? Now, I actually have to type in the level of hardness, although I set it to generic so it can pop out any level. All right, so that's going to call an action that's going to ask a quiz, and its return type is the question and the answer. Okay, so now I'm asking a question. So I'm going to go back into here and go, let's ask a question. And what am I displaying as the question? Well, in my case, I'm displaying question, which is the variable that I got back out from my previous action statement. Okay, now these are true, false. Okay, so I'm going multiple choice. Oops. And false. Now you'll note something that happens here when I do this, which is the minute I ask a question with multiple choices, it actually gives me some branch logic underneath it. Okay, it automatically recognizes that as condition stuff. Okay, and it says, well, if it's true, go this way, and if it's false, go that way. Okay. However, what I actually want to do at this case is I'm going to drop these conditions because I don't quite want to go that way yet. So I'm going to delete them, and instead I'm calling another action. And my action in this case is check answer. SQL quiz, check answer. So on my check answer, I have to put in the, actually I should have given this a name just so I can recognize it. So we'll call this user response. Okay. Like anything, get your variable somewhere sensible, otherwise it get lost, all right? So I'm putting in the answer, okay? I also am passing in the actual correct answer. And I'm passing in a session ID. This is just something I built so this whole thing would work, okay? So go user ID. And I'm passing in their current streak, which is that, and I'm passing in the gamer name, okay? So I'm passing in lots of information into this, and then it checks my answer, and basically, if it's a correct answer, it adds to my streak, and if it's not a correct answer, it's game over time, okay? So that checks my answer. The result from this is result response, result, or my go streak, okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to display a message, because I'm going to display the result response. Okay. And now out of here, I want to introduce a condition. Add a condition, and the condition is the result. So from my check answer, I pass back a response, a nice friendly name, and the result, true or false. So on my result in here, I'm going to put in a true branch. And I actually don't have to set anything over here because that's all other conditions. So if it's true, go down one branch, otherwise go down every other branch, okay? So we got true, false. So let me check. I'm sorry, I'm just checking one thing over here. So if it's equal to false, well, if it's equal to false, it's game over, right? So I'm going to display a message. Game over. And let's put in the gamer name. Where is gamer name? Where is gamer name? I got blind. Oh, there it is. Variable gamer name. But if it's true, which is this branch over here, well, now we're in a situation that we might want to ask another question. Okay, so let's ask him. Do you want to go again? So I'm going to ask a question. Do you want to go again? All right, so I'm asking a question. Let's hide that so I've got a bit more room. Thank you. Multiple choice. Just to show that it's not always true, false, might be yes, no. And again, we see what's happened underneath. It's done its standard breakout. Again, let's just change the variable name. Again. So now I got two conditions. So now there's a little bit, it seems to be a little bit of a bug thing going on here, right? Because what I actually want to do at this point is I want to redirect this node up to the top. The only way I can do that is I have to add in a message just so I can grab this point. See what I'm grabbing? And go again means I now scroll up to here, this point, and going back up to the point of logic of where I generated a question the first time, and then the loop repeats. Whereas if I go down the other branch, which is no, I don't want to go again, I'm going to show a message. Thanks for playing. Okay, let's test that. So first of all, I've got one thing to do in here. Remember I said that little bug seems to be on the message. I have to put on a message to drag it. It means I'm going to have an orphan up here. So I just got to delete that orphan task. You'll see it out on the topic checker. So now the topic checker looks good. So I got to save that. How am I doing on time? I don't know. I forgot to put on my timer. I'm guessing I'm 10 minutes gone. 15?
You got 9 minutes.
I've got 9 minutes left. Awesome. Yeah. Good. So now I've built my topic. Okay. I've got lots of chatbot stuff going on, questions, messages, conditional logic. I've got lots of automates all going on, which is called an action. So let's test it. Okay, I can test it all in here. So to test it, I type in quiz. And it goes, welcome, Mark Hayes. So there, straight away, integration into the Teams environment knows who you are. What's your gamer name? I'm going to go, Mark. Now that's checking, in my case, don't shoot me. It's checking a SharePoint list, okay? But anyway, it's checking a SharePoint list going, welcome back, Mark. Your best streak so far is 6. Nice, okay? And now it asks me questions. And a group of islands is called an archipelago. I believe that's true. So let's go for it. Let's go for true. It's now checking my answer. So you can see how on the right-hand side, things are moving around, okay? And it's saying, you are correct, current streak is 7. Oh, I got a little bit of an issue in there to fix up because obviously I got my logic wrong. Oh, I'd have to check that. I'd have to check that. Result response. If it's true, look at this. All right, so let's change my logic there. If it's false, go down this route. Otherwise, go down that route. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, so back up to the top. What's your gamer name? Checking my stats. Oh, it's been a little bit dramatic for me. I've got 20 minutes, guys. Don't wait too long. I've been hit by the demo god's curse. I might have to start this over. Well, start over is a generic command that you can throw into a chatbot to try to get it to start over, but it seems to be a bit locked up in there. Not a problem. I'm just going to hit save. Oh, welcome back. Okay, it's got me. Right, it's caught. So let's go again. Hopefully that won't happen again. Gamer name, Mark. Now I should be calling my Power Virtual Agent to see, checking my stats. That's good. I have no idea what the answer to this one is. So I'm going to try false. Swing and a miss. My final streak was 7. I've obviously got an issue with my variable in there, but in the interest of time, I'm not going to sort it out. But it gives you an idea of how you can build a bot. But let's have a little bit more fun with it. First of all, I should really show you how that whole Power Automate integration works with. So going back and over to here, and what actually happens when you are inside in Power Virtual Agents or in Teams and you're creating a Power Virtual Agent, it's actually spinning up an environment for you inside in Power Automate and in Power Platform, okay? So the environment I'm in up here is called an environment reboot, which is just my generic test environment that I use for everything, okay? When you spin that up, if you're looking for this, because this is your normal environment that you see in Power Flow, and I can say I got lots of flows in here, but where these are hidden is down in Solutions. When I click on Solutions, it brings me into here, and then I select on the Common Data Services. And actually, here's all the infrastructure behind what I've been building. You can see chatbots, you can see cloud flows, etc. So let's click on a cloud flow. Okay. And let's go looking for SQL. And let's check some of those ones. So SQL Bits quiz. So this is the Power Automate job I call whenever I want to ask a question. All right, so here you can see it's been running away. Let's go into edit.
Mark, you got 5 minutes to end the session.
Thank you very much. 5 minutes. I think that'll work. So if you have a look at our Power Automate job in here, you can see this Power Virtual Agent input and a Power Virtual Agent output. All right. So the Power Virtual Agent job at the start is basically just recognizing the fact that this is an Automate job that's going to be called from a Power Virtual Agent. And in here, you can set whatever sorts of input that you want to get from your chatbot. The rest of this is just variable stuff. If you want to know how I'm generating these questions, I'm calling a service here that I found online, which literally just generates quiz questions for you. All right. So my only parameter is I'm setting questions of type Boolean, so I get true or false back. So I'm calling an HTTP action inside of Power Automate, which is a premium feature. So just be aware of that. Then I parse the results out of it, I apply to each, and I return the data back to Power Virtual Agents. So I return back the question and the answer. Okay. And all Power, that's what it is. That what makes, excuse me, I have COVID at the moment, so I'm a bit rough. That's what makes Power Automate work with Power Virtual Agents, is this integration in between the return value and the input value. And on all of the other jobs that I'll have inside in here, you'll see that same situation in here. So there's a command called check the leaderboard. And if I go check in the leaderboard, you'll see that same format. There's my input, Power Virtual Agent. And this is an input who's playing, and then there's their output going on there. And there's a leaderboard result. Okay. So that's pretty much it. That's how to build a bot in Teams. To finish off that whole thing, there are a couple of things you'd have to do at the end, having saved it, which I'm going to again repeat. I'm assuming there's about 3 minutes left in here, so hopefully that save won't take too long. Okay, I'm going to exit out of here. I forgot to name my topic, but I won't go renaming it now, okay? So it's untitled, which you can see there's the trigger phrase. And now we will go to publish. And when I go to publish, I can see in here, right, let's go publish that content. And this now is publishing my content to make it available. This is my SQL Bits bot. And if I click in here, I can add that bot into Teams. And there you go. Here's my SQL Bits bot. And now if I go quiz, it starts off the whole process over again. So I've created my bot in Power Virtual Agents and I published it into a Teams environment. And I actually use a bot on an almost daily basis. I have a bot called Grawbot, and Grawbot is how I log my timesheets and do various other things. The whole idea for me, the whole beauty of this approach is you can put automation right into Teams environment. If you have a company who uses Teams a lot, you can make a very immersive experience for people to interact and achieve basic units of automation right in an environment that they're using on a daily basis, which I think is a very, very powerful way. Think of setting up Active Directory users. Think of moving an AD user from one AD group to another group, because that might control security, all right? Or Twitter, all right? If I go in here, I can go tweet, and that will call off an Automate job that's going to ask me, what do I want to tweet? Just for fun, guys, if you would like to play that game, my QuizBot, you can go to my website in here, and up in the top, I got BitBots, my SQL Bits SQL quiz, and there's a Power Virtual Agent embedded in there. And all you got to do is type in quiz, and we will see what your game array name is. Type in Mark, and it will do a check it up. And as a fun prize in there, I have no idea. I'm just going to go false. I'm not very good at my own quiz here. Okay, correct. No, I don't. Thanks for playing. I can do things like leaderboard. And that will check who's top of my leaderboard. And I even can do this, rate. Because if you want to rate my session, there you go to my website, interact with the bot, type in rate, and it tells you the URL link to go to. If you want to play the quiz bot, I am given this t-shirt. Well, not this t-shirt, this is my t-shirt. But I've got 3 of these t-shirts to give away. to the top 3 players, which at the moment is Prajati, Lawrence, and Steve. If you can beat the 3 of them, you could win one of these watts. This quick competition closes on Saturday. That's it, guys. I'm done. I think I'm probably out of time. I'm happy to take a question if everyone wants to ask one. Maybe I got a minute left to answer it.
Thank you. Thank you for this great session. At the moment, there is no question from a virtual attendance. Maybe from...
Any questions here?
No. Thank you, Mark. If there will be any question, they can write to you directly.
They can contact me on these details, guys. I don't know how many of the items of you are there, but whoever's there, if you've learned one thing, that's awesome. All right,
Thank
guys.
you.
So thank you very much, Fitz. See you again. Hopefully I'll be in person next year.
See you. I hope. Bye.
Cheers. Slán. Bye.